What's going on, you guys? Welcome to Risky Ryan Trades, and welcome to the Stock Market Weekly Recap, where I will go over the S&P 500, Nasdaq, the Russell, the Dow, the Magnificent Seven, and a few other stocks. And I also take requests, so why don't you hit me with a comment below what stocks you'd like me to take a look at sometime next week. Before I get started, disclaimer. This is for entertainment purposes only, not to be construed as financial advice. This is my opinion only. Trading is risky, so trade at your own risk. If you lose money based on this video, you can't sue me. It's not my fault. But I hope that you learn something. I hope that you see something that you might have not otherwise seen, and helps quell the anxiety that we're all having right now, because the stock market is in a sad place. Let's just put it that way. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. What I have here is the daily chart on the S&P 500. You can see 3 days ago, we closed under the Tenkan-sen moving average. Today, we closed under the Kijun-sen moving average. The cloud is sitting at 526. This big red bar was on bigger red volume than either of the previous days. So, is there more pain to come? I would say more likely than not, yes. I would say more likely than not, yes. Where does it end? Well, I see a gap right here. I see a gap right here, and gaps do have a tendency to fill. So, top of the gap, 540-ish. Bottom of the gap, 537. I also have some lines drawn on my charts. So let's just take a look and see what I have here. All right, I do have Heikin-Ashi candles on. Let me just change those to normal. Okay, so, right, 540. 540 is my guess where this ends. You could see the RSI was pretty cooked, and we probably never should have had this rally, but we did anyway. And now the RSI is coming down. You also see on the daily we have, here, let me make this a little bit bigger. So yesterday I said, wow, like this red bar is already larger than, or as large as, any of the red bars that we've had, and larger than any first bar that we've had in the last two pullbacks. And now today, whoo boy, yeah, we're getting some strong downward pressure. So scary stuff for sure. I do feel like there's more pain ahead. I don't think this is over by any shot. I think the RSI has a date with the 30 line. You know, if you recall this move right here, you know, it started over here and it didn't stop until we hit this line. And I would argue that we're already off to a much stronger decline than we were over here. I mean, we had a gap down, a big bar. There was a level of support at 550 that we closed under. We closed at 548.99. You know, we closed under a whole bunch of support, so I want you to see this here. So yeah, we're under the Kijun-sen. Not only that, we closed under the 50-day moving average. Not bullish. We closed under 550. Not bullish. And the trend line. This trend line, well, it's not the strictest trend line. Let me see if I can. I mean, yeah, I got that, and that. So, you know, we might find a little bit more support at 545. There might be a bit of a struggle there before. If 545 breaks, we have a date with 540. I think that's the way I'm reading this. And momentum begets momentum, especially to the downside. You ever hear the term up the escalator, down the elevator. Well, we're currently on the elevator down. So my cash position continues to be strong. I have not seen any signal of some kind of reversal happening, and I'll be the first to let you know when I feel like it's time to re-enter. But there's no guarantee to be right, of course. But I don't mind entering a little bit early, as long as I miss out on 1 or 2%, 3%, and I get back in and we ride the coattails again. That puts me ahead of the market, plain and simple. Even if it's by a couple percent, that adds up over the years. So that's the SPY. Nasdaq, which in my opinion is kind of leading the SPY. To get an idea of what's happening with what's going to happen with the SPY, the Nasdaq can kind of tell you, because it has just a little bit stronger weighting in the big companies that control the S&P 500. Now, look at here. So we're even further down on the Nasdaq. The good news is these volume bars are declining, but they're still really tall. There's more red volume than any of the green volumes this month and last month. So this is big time selling pressure, and I do have some volume shelves you can look at. We're sitting right at the next one. So, if 470 350 breaks, we're going straight to the gap, 467. That's my opinion. We've been under the moving averages. I mean, the Nasdaq's been brutal. The Chiku span is even going to come under. So we may, who knows, we may even have a date with the cloud at 450, but I'm not going to wait, unless it just happens all at once. I'm not going to wait for it to get down there to start DCAing back in. But we're going to keep an eye out. Like, if I see any signals of a reversal happening down near the gap, I'm gonna be, looking to re-enter. And if I re-enter a little early and I got to suffer for a couple months, that's fine. I missed out on multiple days of suffering, so I'm okay being short shares right now for the time being. But I'd rather not be short shares. Let's take a look at my chart, see if I see anything on here. Okay, so I drew this old trend line here, and yeah, you can see it lines up really nicely with 470 on the Qs. So yeah, I'd be shocked if we didn't test 470. We did close above 475 today, but like by a hair, you know what I mean? By a hair. So there's going to be a battle that takes place here. And the beautiful thing is this cloud, it's so far down today, but if we can just survive 1, 2, 3 more days holding these levels, the cloud is a major level of support. So we just got to survive a bit longer. Hopefully this trend line serves as some sort of reversal signal for us, and if we can get up and over the cloud, this is going to help create support and limit our downside, so we don't have to see 460. However, this would be my okay, I'm going all in probably level 460, unless we just bust through it like Kool-Aid Man. But yeah, Nasdaq, ugly. Let's take a look at the Russell. Also a little ugly. We closed under the 10-day moving average for the Russell. We also have cooled down. I mean, we had a big blow off the top. It got way ahead of itself. I would not be surprised at this point, because we've gotten so low, if we see 212, the Russell hit 212, this Fibonacci level. And I would suspect that this level holds. And we may never really get this low. I mean, look at this pop up, and now we're coming down. If I see some resistance here, I'll probably start DCAing in. And let's take a look, see if I see any GAN levels. So GAN level 211, 212, right around 212. So yeah, this 212 level, there's confluence between the GAN and the Fibonacci levels that I drew. So I don't think we go much lower than that. And the beauty of this too is if the Russell gets down there and the Nasdaq and the SPY aren't giving us proper signals, that would tell me that at least a portion of the market has found support. The small caps have. So, you know, I would begin to get a little bit more bullish if we were to do that. But yeah, I think this thing needs to come down and touch the moving average, or at least get close. I think, you know, it depends on what I see here. If I see some reversal candles happening near the moving averages, we may never get to touch 212. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. But that's the level for the Russell, 212. Now, if it reverses out and we close above 218 on Monday, then the rally continues. Let's look at the Dow. So I don't have GAN levels for this one yet. I really should do that. Let me just do that real quick. All right, so this GAN box is the Dow. It's drawn from the lows of the COVID crash. And you can see here we tapped the GAN level at 50. And we're sitting at 53. You know, this is, I don't think this is the Dow Jones Index, though. Isn't DJI what I should be doing? Whoops. Okay, hold on. Okay, so here's the Dow, drawn from the lows of November. And it failed to get over this GAN angle. And we may be on a date with the GAN level of 39,619, which is another 1.5% down, but it should find support there. So yeah, there could be another couple red days, and it might not, you know, you might see a little relief rally before we tap this again, and then maybe make our way into the arc by October. And I hate to tell you guys, but this level might not hold, because we look failed, and then we pushed through, failed this one, so this one's in question again. Getting through this arc though was a big deal, so you know that's a level of support once you're through. But yeah, 39,636 is the level to watch for the Dow. All right, let's dive into the Magnificent Seven. We're going to start with Microsoft since they had some issues today, and we are approaching the 430 level. We may never actually get there. So Microsoft, this is a strong level of support at 430. I'm almost tempted to just re-enter my position right now looking at this, because I don't see it. Look at all the support right here down at 450, 425. I mean, and considering the news today, it wasn't even down that much. Yeah, I'm gonna buy one more share. We're just gonna DCA a little bit. So here we're gonna go to Microsoft. We're not gonna buy 190 shares because I'm not that rich. And what are we sitting at? And we hit the 50% mark many times, rejected off of 436. So I like that. Yeah. So what are we selling it? What are we buying it for here? 437.54. Okay, you don't want to fill. How about 55? I'm going to squeeze every penny out of you bastards. Fine. Is there no aftermarket sales? What the hell's going on? Let me buy my shares. Oh, it's I don't have it on extended. Doop. Let's see if we can get it down here. So anyway, this must be brutal to watch. There we go. Bought my share. Okay. Microsoft, yeah, this is all I need to see. Microsoft might be nearing its bottom. It's going to have some support here at the GAN level that it got through. It's going to have support at this fib level, the top of the arc, all that good stuff. So the downside potential is kind of... there's more missing out on the relief rally or the push higher. There's more risk there to me than lack of support down here. So that's why I feel comfortable, you know, entering into my position. I got, what, 7 shares? I'll have to figure out if I need to DCA a little bit more in here, but I mean, this might have been the bottom, you know? So yeah, Microsoft, it's not looking bad. Okay, Apple, we have perhaps a reversal happening, and we are close to the GAN level, which is at 221. We're going to take a look here, the Heikinashis, to see if we have any kind of reversal indication. We don't. We didn't make a lower low today. And we closed at 224. It's a tough call. We'll have to see if the price action is tight tomorrow or on Monday. But like this level, like 220, you know, we did touch 221 after all, so we might be done bleeding out. Let me look at the regular candles one more time. Okay, so we kind of had a doji candle here. Yeah, we had a MACD crossover, but the last one wasn't even this much. RSIs are lower than they've been since the push higher, and they're kind of flat. So we're going to pick up an Apple share. I'm going to pause it so that you don't have to suffer through that again. Okay, so I doubled my position in Apple. I still have to, I think, double it from there to get proper exposure. Maybe a 50% increase, something like that. But yeah, so Apple, it's near some important support levels right now, and we did get a reversal doji, so I do like what I see. You know, I don't love that the MACD is like crossed under, but it could easily curl back up, and we could continue this run that we're on. I think that it would like to get above this fib fan of 125. What is that at? 228, 229. So if we could get a candle that closes over that, we might be back in business for Apple. NVIDIA. NVIDIA is hanging on to this GAN level. Oh, cliffhanger, right? It just doesn't want to get under this 119. If this 119 breaks down, though, I mean, we got some gaps to close, don't we? So we could see, you know, like a $100 NVIDIA. So, and with the way semiconductors are behaving right now, like that whole index, I wouldn't be surprised, but it does appear that we're trying to hold this level, and I don't think Wall Street wants this particular stock to take a dive, because they just increased their exposure trying to catch up, you know, because they've been underperforming, I think, a lot of them. So, but these candles aren't beautiful. I want to pull up the Heikin-Ashi and just see what I can see. So the candles are getting smaller, and the wicks are not they're not really you know, in the average price, the Heikin-Ashis are closing right at the GAN level. So I like that. We'll keep an eye on NVIDIA. You know, if it can hold this 119 level, 120 level, watch for it up, you know, to try to get back into the arc. NVIDIA's looking okay. Amazon, not looking okay. not looking okay at all. This thing is in rough shape. We're gonna go to the regular candles here. Whoa, gotta lock that. Okay. Now we did get like a reversal bar, a potential reversal bar. So, 180. If it breaks below 180, we're coming back down to 173. However, I want to show you here on Amazon. So this GAN fan that I drew has held up on this drop, and we got under it, but we do have the cloud, we do have the moving average, which is the 200-day moving average, which is important. The RSIs are reduced. Did we close above the GAN fan? Just barely. Just barely. Wow. Yeah. We just barely closed above the GAN fan. We rejected the whole idea of this cloud and this moving average. So if we see some, like a candle close over here, I'll probably re-enter my position. I'll have to think about that more, but yeah, it does appear, I mean, I think it might want to come back up to this 188 level. RSIs are almost to their, to the 30 level. It doesn't always have to go there though. Like, look at these last few. This is as lowest as it's gotten, in the past little meltdowns it's had. So Amazon might be nearing support, might even be sitting at it right now. Cool. Moving on, we got Meta. Meta kind of held on today. It's like in the cloud. This is the messiest chart ever, so I do apologize. But like, I don't know if you've been watching Meta's price action, but it's been just all over the freaking place. So it's kind of hard to determine where this thing is gonna land. I don't think I've re-entered. I think I have one share just to kind of keep it on my watch. But yeah, it does look like RSI's hit. Ooh, do we have a smaller? Look at this. So the histogram came up a little bit today. So, but we do have, we're closing within this bar right here. But we did get into the cloud. We're on this fib fan. But we couldn't close over this Fibonacci level. We tried. But we do have a Fibonacci fan here and here. And it closed over both of them. So, yeah, Meta might be in okay shape for now, but we do have earnings coming up, and Meta earnings can be a bit of a nail biter. I don't even know if I want to really hold Meta through the earnings, just because big gap downs happen and we're in a really precarious spot. If I see the stock market kind of kicking back to life, like maybe I'll re-enter. I'll just have to wait and see, really. Let's take a look at the Heikin-Ashis and see if we can see anything. Okay, so the Heikin, we do have a reversal. I'd like to see a green Heikin-Ashi bar probably before re-entering this. Is that all 7 of the Mag 7? We got Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Amazon, Meta, Tesla. Why don't I have that written down? Tesla. How can I forget? Tesla. Ooh. Yeah, we're going down. We're crossing over. We're going down. Yeah. Next level of support, 236. Yeah, we tried to turn it around, and then today, momentum is downward. So sorry for the Tesla fanboys, but this looks pretty textbook to me, like we're turning over this whole thing. Yeah, so I'm looking, well, here's the thing. You know, we made a low at 233 here. We didn't make a lower low today, but we could test that low again. That would put us in this fib fan. You know, me personally, I'm probably a buyer down here at 214. Just because I'm not really familiar with the stock, to be honest. Like, it's such a crazy ride, and it's had such a rough year. So now we do have reducing volume over the last few days. You know, these red bars are kind of lower volume. So yeah, like 232. I think we might double bottom here, and we'll just have to wait and see. I would want to see a green Heikin-Ashi candle after seeing this right here, because that's typically means there's going to be a downtrend next, and maybe that should have happened right here, but it was trying to hold this 250, and then the 250 broke, and now we're even under 240 right now. We closed at 239.20, so that's not good. Well, let's take a look at the GANs though, and that might kind of give us a little bit more of an idea. Yeah, so we broke this GAN level of 245. The ARC is at 220. The top of the ARC is at 220, and that does line up with my fib, or no. Oh, that lines up with this alert that I set, and it also lines up with some support. So yeah, that's where I think it's going. I think it's probably going there to 220 bill. So we'll have to see. Maybe I should buy some calls. Just kidding. I don't really do that, but that's Tesla. Let's take a look at Netflix, because it had earnings, and it had an interesting day today. Very interesting day today. So it popped all the way up to 677, and it closed at 633. But I bought my share at 629 after earnings, so that's cool. Do we see more downside? Yeah, I think we probably do. The GAN is sitting at 612. You know, I'd probably pick up another share if we hit 612. Or actually, this is. Let me get rid of these lines here. I'm gonna remove these. Yes. Okay. Let's zoom out a little bit. I just want to see what I'm working with here. All right, I got to get rid of these fib channels because they are. There we go. Okay. 613 and 593. So 613, I probably buy another share. 593, I probably buy another share, and then I call it a day. Yeah, Netflix it's kind of rough. So let's take a look at the Heikin-Ashis. Look at this big, like, crazy doji that we formed today on the Heikin-Ashi. That's crazy. That is wild. Yeah, we'll have to. It'll be interesting to watch, just to watch the price action, because it's so abnormal. Doesn't know what it wants to do. People don't know if they want to buy it, if they want to sell it. I think they want to buy it, but the whole market is getting spanked right now, so they're like, maybe I shouldn't. And here, let me look at this. I want to see the Netflix. I want to see the volume profile. Ooh, yeah, look at all that volume today. There's a ton of volume going down. See that? Ton of volume going down. We are sitting on the cloud and a fib fan. and the 61.8. So I drew this. This Fibonacci levels are here. I want to show you. So when earnings came out, it went boom, boom. It like went high and then it went low. And then earlier today, it went super high pre-market, bounced down, but it does seem to be holding the 630 level. So my one share is slightly in the green despite all the crazy price action. So good for Netflix. Lilly, what is going on with Lilly? It rejected the GAN level of 851. I actually bought another share today because I do think that this GAN level is going to hold. You can see, like, despite the big pushes down, we rejected off of this Fib fan level and this GAN fan level. Then today we didn't even get to touch this GAN, like it didn't even get to 850. And now it's sitting at 858. I do want to take a look at the hourly. Yeah, so we had this big flush, and then, yeah, we kind of came down again, so. Where is that GAN sitting at? It is sitting at 850. Yeah, so this fan level right here, and then you also have supported like 843, which is a major Fibonacci extension, 161.8. So I do feel that Eli Lilly is sitting near support. I also do feel that Eli Lilly is one of those names. It didn't sell off initially. It's almost as though Wall Street it was like their darling. And it does sometimes feel like Eli Lilly is Wall Street's darling. So, yeah, I do feel decent, you know. I don't want to say good yet, but hey, I re-entered my position on Eli Lilly today. So I do feel like we are, you know, we got past what we needed to get past. I actually do want to take a look at the daily. Yeah, the RSI is just totally plummeted. Okay. Costco sitting at 838. Heikinashi candle, we have a couple dojis, so I do feel like, you know, this level is destined to hold. You know, it's starting to maybe curl up and then down and then up, maybe something like that. Got a bit of a gravestone here, so I don't love this. I don't really love this. Let's take a look at my chart and see what we can see. So twice now we closed above this level, this price level of 835 that I drew as a major support line. We had a bunch of we've had nothing but price rejection from 825 really to like 833. So this GAN fan does seem to be holding up. It tried to get, look at that, it tried to get up to this GAN fan right back. It tried, and then it bounced off these moving averages, and then it closed lower than we opened yesterday, but just slightly. So Costco is kind of hanging in the balance a little bit, but I do feel that this GAN fan is going to hold up. And then especially as time passes, like, you know, you might see a little dip and then a pop back up, because we are getting close to the cloud now on the daily. On the weekly, oh my goodness, okay. Yeah, we closed above this on the weekly. I mean, really I should be looking at some weekly candles here. So yeah, we closed above that on the weekly. I'm going to just look at the SPY weekly candle. Closing under, yeah, so the SPY there's more pain to come for the SPY in my opinion. We closed underneath the 10-day moving average. And we got the Tenkan-sen right here. We haven't even gotten under Tenkan-sen for the weekly, which big, ugly moves like this, you know, that happens. And we haven't even really, on the weekly, we haven't even really gotten out of the red zone. QQQ. Q's closed right at the Tenkan-sen, closed under the moving average, 10-day. And yeah, we're curling. Yeah, I don't like it. We already talked about that. IWM, shooting star, I believe that's what that's called, or is that a gravestone? I always forget. Yeah, we're gonna come down. I still think this 212 is probably gonna hold. I mean, we didn't like do all that for nothing, right? Like, right? And on the weekly, we're not even like, the RSI is not even crazy or anything on the weekly. So I think this move does continue through the quarter. You might see like a doji again next week, and then a continuation higher. That'd be my personal prediction. Dow Jones Industrial. Something's wrong with this, so we're just going to skip that. Microsoft. Closed above Tenkan-sen, tapped this 100% and this 161. Like, there's a lot of support right here at 431. That's why I added another share and started to kind of reposition myself in Microsoft. I think the pain is nearly over for the big one. NVDA. Brutal candle, but we did close above Tenkan-sen, so the uptrend is technically still intact on the weekly. That said, you know, 111 is not out of the question. Really, this 119 needs to hold. This trend line needs to hold. We did close under this trend line here, so not so good. Amazon closing under the 10-day and the Tenkan-sen, but we do have Kijun-sen and the 50-day nearby. You know, on the weekly, I do see like a price level. 165 seems like our ultimate floor if we really ever get there. Google. I always forget about Google. Oof. That looks really bad. I would be exiting. I would be exiting. If I was in Google, I'd be getting the F out. This is an ugly candle, ugly close, and ugly all around. Curling MACD, this RSI is dropping. That's not good. Let's just look at the daily, because we didn't look at the daily for this. We're heading to the cloud on the daily. We're heading to the cloud. It's 175. And the, what is this? The 200-day moving average is sitting at 168. So I don't think lower than 165 happens. Let's look at the weekly. 165 sits at the 200-day moving average. So yeah, or the 50-day moving average or the 50-week, I should say, 50-period moving average on the weekly. So a lot of compliments at the 165 mark, and there's some support right here as well. So Google will look good at 165. Let's take a look at the GANs, see if there's anything at 165 for Google. Top of the arc is at 165. You got the angle at 170 and the GAN level at 170. So I think we're headed here. We're headed to this zone right here. This is the buy zone. Whoop. Let me make it green. So I don't really like Google as a company, but technically speaking, if we hit here, and like all the other names are looking like they might be reversing, or like we might be getting a relief rally, I might try to pick a bottom and catch a swing trade or something here. The only thing about this is there's a gap from 165 down to 161. So could see that get filled unless, yeah, I could see that get filled. Okay. Let's look at Meta weekly. Okay. Yeah, not the prettiest. We got more higher volume profile. The MACD was gonna revert, and then it said no. But the fib levels are good. It's a hard call on Meta. I'm not gonna lie. It's a hard call on Meta. 440, and like I might be too tempted to pick up a share, because that is 441 is the 61.8% fib level, and that often, actually we need to edit this because it got a little bit higher. So the it's still basically the same thing. 442. Yeah, I would want to see, like, with a name like this, especially going into earnings, like, I would want to see, like, a base form out here or something. Or, like, maybe earnings, we dip down and then we break above it and then we base out and hold above it. That would be cool, and then I could get my shares. Tesla weekly chart. Yeah, it's just gross. We're sitting on the cloud. But next week the cloud is down at 225 and we could break through. So, because it's a pretty thin cloud, it's not a bullish cloud either. Do we look at the Netflix weekly? Yeah, let's just keep moving on. We'll look at the Eli Lilly weekly. Yeah, this is really ugly. Really ugly. But man, I'd be shocked if we hit 800. It could happen though. Could happen. But I think that would be bottom. I mean, we'd be hitting our 50-week moving average. I would probably, I don't like to keep a large weighting in Eli Lilly, but like if I get an opportunity to buy it in this consolidation area, and it or if it goes in there and then it confirms back out, and it looks like I'm in an uptrend, I might go a little overweight from what I'm used to like catch a swing up and then go back to my normal position size. Yeah, tough call for Eli Lilly. Broadcom, heavy weighting in the Nasdaq. Just ugly stuff happening. Closed. Did we close below Tenkinson on the weekly? Not good. Let's look at the daily. Not good. Not good, you guys. Broadcom might have a date with 141. Yeah, this gap is going to fill. 150 is like, I'd almost bet my life on it. What is it at? 157? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess we filled the gap a little bit here, but then we didn't really continue on. Let's look at Heikinashi's real quick. We do have a doji forming, but it's not green. I wouldn't be entering here. I would not be entering here. CrowdStrike had the big day today. Man, did I luck out, you guys. Did I luck out? I trimmed up here about 25% of my position, and then I got stopped out at like 375, 365, and 350. And then I bought shares this morning at 300. I woke up today at 6 a.m. and I saw CrowdStrike shares with $300, and I was like, I almost didn't even click the news tab. I did click the news tab because I'm like, what the fuck happened? And I was like, okay, there's an outage. Did they get hacked? And then I saw they did not get hacked. and it was just like an update or something, and I'm like, okay, this will probably blow over. And also, like, this is a $400 or $500 stock in my mind, like in not too many years, 1 or 2. So, you know, even if it gets back up to 400 from 300, that's a 33% gain. Even if it takes 2 years, you're outpacing the S&P 500 on average. Obviously, it's a riskier name, you know, it's your choice to buy it. I'm not telling you what to buy, but this has always been a big position of mine because I do have that video up, which you should go check out. But some lucky bastard, you know, picked these off at 270 at 4 a.m. I guess the early bird got the worm with that one. Holy crap. There was like no volume. But yeah, it held the 300 level pretty much all day. It rejected off it multiple times. Yeah, I mean, multiple times. We could push under it. I'm not saying we can't, but it's at a technical support level, and we're already down 33% from the highs. So, I mean, how much more can this go down? I feel like the RSIs are just like blasted. I mean, look, we're down in the RSIs. So I ended up picking up one more share than I had before with less money involved, you know. So that was nice. But good luck, CrowdStrike. I'm gonna look at the silver miners. Silver miners closed above the arc today. That is very good. So that tells me that, you know, this whole movement might, you know, we might be bouncing back up, because we confirmed this GAN level. We opened there and we just got bought all the way through, and then we got rejected right here. So you could see maybe like a decline to the angle or something, you know, some chop and then a push through. So there could be some sideways action, I would imagine. But I like what I see here. You know, I wouldn't be selling probably. Let's take a look at SMH. I'm going to pull up a GAN level on this. Okay, sorry that took so long. I thought I paused it. So you can see here the GAN levels at 226. We failed to stay in the arc. Not to say that we can't find support here and then push back into the arc, but ultimate support is going to be at 227. So if you've been waiting to get into the semi trade, which honestly, like, this could like just bleed out until the fall and then, you know, continue on. The AI trade is not over. It's not. But I did trim a lot of, you know, during when this gap down, I said, oh, hell no. And if we look at the Heikinashis, Renko. Oh yeah, Renkos are kind of cool. If we look at the Heikinashis, you know, we're in a healthy downtrend. So yeah, yeah, 240. This is like a support level, like a major level. 240. That's something to watch. We broke 250 today though, so we closed, I think right now it's sitting at 248, so I think 240 is realistic for semiconductors. All right, well, I'm gonna call it there. So I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, why don't you go ahead and hit that like button. If you have a stock you want me to take a look at next week, I'd be happy to do it. Go ahead and comment below. And if you lost a bunch of money this week, why don't you leave a comment below? Let me know what stock did you lose the most on this week. And if you're brave enough, tell us how much money. I think it would make everybody feel better. And I do find that interesting. So, okie doke. I will catch you later. Risky Ryan out.